Marvel Cinematic Universe fans and moviegoers everywhere were introduced to the Quantum Realm in Ant-Man, and we actually went there in Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Quantum Realm in the movies is described as an alternate dimension only accessible through magical energy or mystical transportation using a sling ring or by tremendous subatomic shrinking caused by the Pym particles. Hank Pym says all concepts of space and time become irrelevant as you shrink for all eternity. Well, that sounds more like middle school to us, but whatever you say, guy from Fatal Attraction with a stupid beard. Really, the Quantum Realm is just an easier 21st century way for writers to deal with the necessary plot holes of a build-as-you-go universe, which has plagued Stan Lee and every writer who came after him since Fantastic Four #1 in 1961. Even DC's editor in the 60s, Julie Schwartz, did ostensibly the same thing by introducing the multiverse of Earth 1 and Earth 2 in 1961's The Flash 123 to ultimately explain why, despite being introduced in 1939, Bruce Wayne wasn't a middle-aged geezer in 1961. And dead by 1980. Is a fairly simple concept. These guys are from Earth 1, these guys are from Earth 2. Simple, right? You'd think so. But then some jerk thought that was too easy and hired Marv Wolfman to complicate the heck out of it and throw 25 years of continuity out the window in his landmark Crisis on Infinite Earths, which rebooted Hawkman for like the 700th time.
I've got to try blocking it off as Hawkman.
But we digress. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the laziness of the Quantum Realm gimmick is even called out by Scott Lang when he questions the guy that they never actually call Black Goliath, even though he is, and says, "What, all you guys do is put quantum in front of everything?" It's a delightfully self-aware moment reminding us all not to take ourselves, or these movies, too seriously.
What exactly is it that they do?
Kick names, take ass.
Yeah, that's right.
So, being the amazingly accurate hive mind that they are, MCU fanboys and girls have created what's commonly called the Marvel Universe Quantum Realm Theory in order to spoil all the joy of unwrapping the yet untitled 4th Avengers movie. It goes like this. When Thanos snapped his fingers at the end of Avengers Infinity War and wiped out half of all the life in the universe, thus creating a zillion plot holes and opening up a can of bad science worms that are even more absurd than radioactivity giving you spider powers instead of cancer, Bucky, Groot, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Doctor Strange, and a bunch of other heroes were literally disintegrated into floating CGI pixels.
What did you do? What did you do?
Now, the theory states that the heroes who seem to fade away were actually transported to the ooey-gooey quantum realm. You remember the quantum realm, right? That's the place that turns Catwoman into the Wasp. Well, like all tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, this one doesn't hold up at all, and it's about to get debunked.
You mention my wife again, and I'll show you ferocity.
Don't look at me, you said it.
Here's 3 reasons why the quantum realm theory won't work, and some alternative but equally stupid theories to tide you over until you have a few more things to chew on when Captain Marvel comes out in March of 2019. First, immediately after the finger snap of doom, the heroes actually disintegrate just like all the non-heroes do. There was nothing unusual about the disappearance of Bucky and his lost crew, and there ain't a sling ring big enough to transport half the universe. And while Doctor Strange may be the Sorcerer Supreme, he's not the Sorcerer Extra Supreme.
It's a simple spell, but quite unbreakable.
Then I'll take it off your corpse.
Furthermore, if Strange or some other force did transport half the universe to Lasagna World, which is what we're going to start calling the Quantum Realm, how in the world did he know which half to send? Any answer you come up with would be so convoluted and twisty, it would make Marvel Comics retcon king Roy Thomas blush. Retcon, by the way, is a term used in comics. It's a portmanteau of retroactive continuity, which gives writers the license to say that, for example, Captain Marvel was pulled out of the ice in, let's say, 2004 rather than 1964. Sometimes you have to dump some deadweight in an ongoing narrative in order to keep it current. That's why the Fantastic Four's Franklin Richards, who was born a hell of a long time ago, is still about 10 years old.
Oh my God! Come on!
Furthermore, and this is us just being jerks to the writers now, how did Thanos know which side of the coin toss he'd end up on? It's like playing Russian roulette with a bullet in every other chamber. Now, we've established that Thanos is mad, but this kind of proves he's not very bright either.
What's your name?
Laura?
Transporting missing characters to other dimensions is a time-tested Marvel trick, so it is reflective of what's in the comics.
It can get weirder.
Okay.
Captain America's been zipped in and out of dimensions recently, as well as back and forth in time. Reed Richards was exiled to the negative zone, which is kind of like the quantum realm's hillbilly cousin where everything wants to kill you, on more than one occasion. There was even a time when Hawkeye was zapped back in time so he could hang out with all the Marvel cowboy heroes like the Two-Gun Kid. Hey, maybe that's where he is now. Maybe this is an attempt to bring the Two-Gun Kid into the MCU. No, of course not. That's even more stupid than the quantum realm theory.
Aha, very funny. Hank, quit screwing around. You told me yourself not to screw around.
And we're not saying that the missing population is dead or even erased from existence forever, because we already know there's going to be another Spider-Man movie coming out. But to say they're all in the quantum realm is possibly selling the writers short. There are other options, and we'll get to those in a minute. Second, the Cosmic Cube. Sorry, we mean the Tesseract. Okay, seriously, in a universe where there's a guy whose name is so on the nose as Spider-Man, we can't just call it what it is? Why do we have to come up with a fancy new word? I suppose we should be glad they didn't call it the Quantum Box, but whatever. Since its introduction in 1966, the Cosmic Cube has been used by Marvel writers to speed up changes or out-and-out reboot storylines more times than there are Green Lanterns.
Remember your enemy. He's not gonna play fair.
In comics, there have been, at least by our count, 4 cosmic cubes of varying power and composition. There's nothing in the MCU to indicate that there isn't a second or third or fourth or fifth cosmic cube Tesseract, with a cosmic cube fragment being not only a clever way to shoehorn in a cameo by the Red Skull into Infinity War, but also a gem in the Infinity Glove. Reality can and has been altered by the finger snap of doom. It wouldn't be surprising if someone suddenly remembered the weird glowing cube in, say, Peter Parker's gym locker or the Ancient One's nightstand, then hands it to Captain America, lets him make a wish, and bam, Bucky returns from the dead. Again. Along with all of his friends and the other half of the universe. Stupid, sure, but just as possible as anything else.
This universe is only one of an infinite number.
Or give us the Tesseract, and let's see Reed Richards and the rest of the Fantastic Four not only finally star in a movie that doesn't stink to high heaven, but swoop in and save the day like they usually do when there's an intergalactic bad guy who can't be punched or hexed or repulsor rayed or arrowed into submission.
To quote a friend of mine, it's clobbering time.
That's what we'd like to see, but it's as likely as Marvel giving 3D Man his own feature film. Anyway, when you have a thing that reinvents reality with a thought, it could also be undone by another thing that does that too. Is it lazy storytelling? You bet. Is it possible? Sure. Is there precedent of this happening in comics? Not in this specific instance, but yeah, it's entirely possible that all these heroes in half the universe really are zapped out of existence. Until they aren't. After all, Gwen Stacy's still dead, right? On top of all that, let's review how Thanos got the Tesseract Cube in the first place. First, he slaughtered a ship full of Asgardians. And Asgardians aren't pushovers, man, that's for sure. Then, he fails in making the Hulk mad enough to beat him up and thus whoop the strongest one there is in the first few minutes of the first act of the movie, preventing us from enjoying more Hulk in the rest of the movie, which, let's be honest, is kind of a disappointment.
Where's your gun?
I don't know, should have been having a thing.
Then, the cube is surrendered by the virtuous and noble Loki. Yep, Loki, the Norse god of mischief. Again, we'll get to this one later, but this one scene right on top of the first act could be the undoing of the whole thing. Third, multiple alternate realms. We talked about the quantum realm, and we mentioned the negative zone, but the Marvel Universe is lousy with other dimensions and other realities. These alternate dimensions include Howard the Duck's Duck World. Kal, the micro-universe that brought us Hulk's dead girlfriend Jarella, or any of a zillion dimensions that Steve Ditko designed in a bunch of old Doctor Strange comics. If anyone knows a secret hiding place in the multiverse, it's Doctor Strange, but we saw him depixelated during the finger snap of doom. Now, if you really want to defend this dumb theory, we will charitably offer this convoluted but oh so Marvel way out. Knowing what was about to happen, Doctor Strange didn't transplant the heroes that we saw zapped into the quantum realm, but instead very quickly zapped our Thanos to another universe. A what-if universe maybe, and it was half of that universe that was broken down into binary code. You know, kind of like he did against the bad guy in his own movie. And it'll be revealed in Avengers 4, which will be titled Avengers 4 Just Kidding. Now, perhaps in this universe, the Scarlet Witch actually kept her accent.
You said we would destroy the Avengers.
Or perhaps in this universe, the deep cover disguise that Black Widow uses is a little deeper than just that box of Clairol Nice and Easy hair dye. Ridiculous? Sure, but just as likely as anything else. Now, while we're on the topic of implausible but possible theories that could explain how the finger snap of doom could be reversed, because we just know it's going to be reversed, right? Otherwise, the already announced Spider-Man and Black Panther movies are going to be really, really boring. Let's take a look at some other things we want to put out there, just to start some rumors.
Infinity Stone.
The Infinity Gems are just metaphors. There really isn't a magic Michael Jackson glove that makes you omnipotent, provided you have a human-like hand. The real story is about Thanos' quest, and in fact, the power was inside Thanos the whole time and simultaneously isn't real. Also, the whole thing is undone when Pepper Potts clicks her heels and says there's no place like home. Yeah, it's dumb, but we've been reading Marvel Comics for almost 50 years, and it's still not as dumb as Spider-Man being a clone for decades and not remembering it.
That was intense. How do you do it?
One bruise at a time.
Man, it's been 20 years since that storyline, and we're still mad about it. We need help.
We swore an oath to protect the Time Stone with our lives.
And I swore off dairy, then Ben & Jerry's named a flavor after me, so...
Or how about the old switcheroo? They did it 1,000 times in those old Gene Autry westerns, or on Hogan's Heroes, or on Star Trek. See, the bad guy needs something, and takes a bogus duplicate version of what he needs that doesn't work as well as the actual thing would. You know, kind of like Lex Luthor's synthetic kryptonite that Richard Pryor invented in Superman 3. Yeah, it's dumb, but not too dumb for movies.
Your optimism is misplaced, Asgardian.
Remember what we said earlier about Thanos getting the Tesseract from the oh-so-trustable Norse god of trickery and mischief? Right. Loki's evil, you bet, but not suicidal. Loki summoned something that looked like the Cosmic Cube, and Thanos just took him at his word. He's truly insane. I mean, let's think about this. Would you buy a used car from Loki? No, neither would we. So why in the world would anyone accept the most powerful weapon in the universe without doing some proper checking? In fact, during the third act fight on Titan, Doctor Strange actually tries to fake Thanos out by not having the stone inside the Eye of Agamotto. It just irritates Thanos. Not a good idea, we suppose, but Doctor Strange is not Loki.
What do you drink? Not tea.
The quantum realm was introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe to give writers a quick and easy way to explain things like alternate realities or time travel, or how Aunt May is suddenly a slightly ethnic cougar instead of one of the Golden Girls. You know, like the holodeck. There are no new ideas.
You know me?
I do. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge.
You see, when you're building an ongoing narrative, which, let's be honest, is really just a soap opera with way more interesting fight scenes, every now and then you get an idea so good that you have to find a way to force it into the storyline. That's why there's the Quantum Realm, or Elseworlds, or all that garbage on Legends of the DC Universe. So where are the heroes that Thanos snapped away? We don't know. We're pretty sure you don't know either, so your guess is as good as ours. We'll all find out in the still untitled Avengers 4 movie, which, like we said before, will probably be called Avengers 4 Just Kidding, The Return of Spider-Man. And in the meantime, we can all look for more clues in Captain Marvel. We'll also have to wait until Avengers 4 to answer the questions left unanswered. For example, where were all those Wakandan rhinos? How are we supposed to believe that there's a major event happening and Hawkeye's at home watching it on CNN with his pipe and slippers? Once you have the Reality Stone, why can't you just summon the other stones? Why didn't the handle of the Stormbreaker disappear when Groot was disintegrated? Really, the only person to handle the Hulkbuster armor was an emotionally tortured gamma scientist? That's the only guy? Really? And now that we're going to start playing time travel, we're supposed to believe that the most sophisticated device to contract Carol Danvers is a Nextel alphanumeric pager? Why? Couldn't they get AOL to pay for product placement? Well, what are your theories? Let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of Debunked right here on CBR. Thanks for watching.